Y'all heard this. This is a top 10 podcast in America. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your guy Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. My boys, what's going on? How was your weekend? How was your week? How y'all doing?
It's great. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
We're crushing. I can't wait to talk football later, though.
Oh
I'm
man.
so hyped.
Oh man. We really have one important topic that we're not even going to save for NFL. We're going to save that for hot takes like hotcakes because it's really going to fuel Brian up. Like I can feel the heat steaming off of him right now. It's all zappy. You know, the heat is really zappy. Anyway, let's get straight into it. The NBA, let's see. It's just starting out. A lot of tempers have been flaring. A lot of guys have been a little heated lately. Klay Thompson got into it with Devin Booker, told our boy to look at the rings. It's all about the rings. I thought it was encouraging to see Klay Thompson step out of his comfort zone a little bit. What's your take on that, Brian?
I think if I was Devin Booker, I would have told him, you better be thinking Steph. And I would have left it at that.
Nah, I wouldn't say that because it was a couple times in the first and second championship that Klay definitely came up clutch. But I get what you're saying though. I get that reference. The Boston Celtics. What are your thoughts on them?
Well, I was ready to come in here and tell you that they are making a statement, and then they blew a 19-point lead to the Bulls the other night, and so now I'm wondering, is this going to be a lot of what happened at the beginning of last year where they just can't hang on to a lead or they don't know how to play a full game, and then they go through all the BS that they had to.
It's one game.
But it goes back to what the problems were last year of they just did not play complete games. Until the end. They figure it out, obviously, into the playoffs. They got it going. I'm not saying that they won't do it.
They'll be good.
I'm just saying they shouldn't have to go through the same BS again. They should be past that.
Yeah, they can't be doing no Patriot shit. They got to play good ball. So anyway, 76ers has been playing like complete dog water. But in Western Conference, the Trailblazers are in first place at 4-0. A lot of 3-1 teams. Any surprising teams, I would say the Pelicans. They are playing pretty well, even without Zion Williamson. The last game they beat the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, he's hurt again. Weird.
No. But that was not on him though.
No, it's not.
Did you see that?
I know he got in a collision, right?
He went up. You know how normally
he went
when
for a dunk.
No, he went up for a layup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was going for a layup. But you know, like he's on the fast break coming layup. You know what? Normally they say don't undercut a guy, don't do certain things. So I forgot what his name went up to try to block it, but kind of like grabbed his forearm and pulled him back. So Zion really couldn't brace himself. So the only way he could brace himself if he put his hands down, and he probably would have broke one of his arms if he put his hands down. So he didn't put anything down, and he landed completely on his hip. Yeah. You know, 270 on the hip, right, sideways.
Right. It would probably not hurt as much if it was like 240. But.
Nah, it still would hurt. If you see, he was damn near parallel in the sky. But I get what you're saying.
More cushion for the pushing.
Yeah, exactly. That should protect him. But anyway, so he got up, limped off a little bit. But you know, NBA, if you get any little bruise, you're missing the game, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like Westbrook with the sore hammy. He's missing the game, I think, tonight or tomorrow, because the Lakers are playing so well without him. So we'll see what happens. The Lakers absolutely suck. They are terrible. They are, like we talked about a little bit last week, how bad they are, but they are very bad. They're not a good team at all. Like I think right now LeBron is just playing just to say he has the all-time leading scorer because they're definitely not making it to the playoffs. If they do make it to the playoffs, I'll shave my beard and just rock the complete everything bald, like down to zero, like a shave against the grain on the face. That's not happening, so don't worry about it. You see all the razor bumps if I get that, but that's not happening. That's how confident I am about them not making the playoffs. Hopefully they don't bite me in the ass, but whatever. Last week it was a pretty exciting NCAA. UCLA played Oregon. Oregon beat the crap out of them. The score looked closer than it was at the end. The Oklahoma State-Texas game was a pretty good game the whole time. Alabama does what we do against Michigan State. TCU which is surprising right now. Came back against Kansas State, and TCU is going to probably be number 6 in the country. Probably pass one of these teams. I would say the Clemson game versus Syracuse. Clemson, they had to sit DJ. He kind of took a step back. They started the freshman. He looked decent, right? He got the win. In my opinion, I'm curious on your thoughts, Brian. It's not really any great teams. It's a lot of teams that are either like it's still anybody's game who can win, right? Because everybody thinks Ohio State is very good, but in my opinion, Ohio State hasn't played anybody. Everybody says Georgia's very good, but Georgia played one team that was good, which is Oregon. And you can say that they caught Oregon on a bad day because Oregon wasn't ready. Because if they play Oregon now, who knows if it's the same, right? Every team has had a close game besides Ohio State, but again, they haven't played anybody. Tennessee is probably the most battle tested, right? But they can't play good defense, right? Michigan, they played Penn State. They blew Penn State out, but other than that, they haven't really played. They won't see anybody until pretty much Ohio State. Maybe Maryland. Some people say, but I doubt it. Or not Maryland, but Michigan State. But I doubt it. Like that's going to be just BS. And then Alabama, we are not good on defense, right? So TCU is in the Big 12, which I guess big people think the Big 12 is good. I think it's a whole bunch of middle of the pack teams that just score points. But I'm curious on your thought process on that of who do you think is actually good, or is it kind of like anybody's ball game?
I mean, for me personally, I think it's until we see otherwise, you have to look at Georgia and Ohio State. But like you did say, they're unproven because they haven't played anybody. But who looks the best right now? It's them. I mean, until they show us otherwise, they should be 1-2 the rest of the year until they either lose or.
You worried about this week?
Play well. They're playing at Ohio State, playing at Penn State.
Yeah.
No, I'm slightly nervous.
Not after what Michigan just did, because I think Ohio State's a better team than Michigan.
I would say, but I think there's two different things, right? Like running the ball is Michigan's like strength. And Penn State was supposed to be good at stopping the run, but they're not. They have better defenders on the outside than Ohio State receivers. Like not, they have better defenders on the outside than they have interior. I think Ohio State receivers, if they have Nixon, whatever how you spell his name, the good receiver, right? If they have him out there, yes, I forgot. I don't want to butcher his name.
I'm not butchering it. I'm not doing it.
Okay, cool. So y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you.
Everybody knows Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Who am I talking about, Brian?
I'm not saying his name either because if I mess it up.
So everybody's just going to make me look like the clown on here.
Well, because like if Brian messes it up, it might go in the other direction.
Okay. Smith Nijiguba.
Yeah.
However you say it. Sorry, I apologize, Smith. Anyway, I'm taking too long. I think Ohio State was going to get a good little test versus Penn State because it's at Penn State. I think Penn State would play them closer than that. I think they still win, but I think that they'll play them closer for sure. And then after that, it's kind of nothing to the Michigan State Ohio State game. In my opinion, Tennessee is the best team in the country right now. In my opinion, just because they're offensively, it's what Hoople got going on. You can't. He's scheming like Sarkisian in the national championship game 2 years ago with Alabama when he had Mac Jones when he was actually good and Devontae Smith and and Najee. Like it's just all over the place, right? But I digress. We'll get to Mac Jones later. But that's all I have to say.
Sorry.
All right. Are we good on college?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Baseball. We are in the World Series.
Phillies who?
The Phillies against the Astros. The Astros who swept the Yankees. I might add.
Okay. Yeah, we get it. Jesus.
No, we don't. We're not talking about that. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
I knew they choked, but damn, that was pretty bad.
That was fucking terrible.
No one is going to be rooting for the Astros, right?
Nobody's rooting for them, but I'm unfortunately going to tell you that they're going to win the World Series.
No, they're not beating the Phillies.
I hope not.
They're not beating the Phillies.
Dude, The Astros are so good.
The villain can't win, Brian.
Yeah, they can.
The villain can't.
Do.
Yeah,
I know the Patriots won for 18 years and they were the villain.
Anyways, so yeah, that's about to kick off. That's pretty much it. I mean, on baseball, you probably don't want to hear about contracts, so we'll move on. All right, hockey. Real quick, the Boston Bruins are your best team in hockey right now.
What?
Yeah,
he loves.
Didn't you say last week you're not going to talk about them?
Yeah, well,
and then now they're the best team.
But I'm just stating a fact, Kenny. That is right now they are the best team in the NHL. They're 6-1 with 12 points. Vegas Knights also have 12 points, but they've lost 2 games, so they've played an extra game. So yeah, and a surprise to me is Tampa is 3-4 with only 6 points right now. It's still early, but
don't worry about us.
As talented of a team as that is, like
we're old.
They better get going.
We're old with the Lakers, but actually can perform when it comes.
All right, because we got less than a month until my deadline of Thanksgiving, so they better get into that playoff run.
And when it comes to Thanksgiving, they will be probably the fifth seed.
Fifth seed, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally doable. I mean, you're talking a difference of 6 points from last place to first place, so that's 3 wins. So, but yeah, not a whole lot to talk about yet. I mean, we'll get more info as they continue to play. So, that's it.
Too easy.
Dang, that's it.
I mean,
that was quick.
We're in it. In and out.
We know those are here to hear about the NFL, so let's do it.
That's it.
Well, let's talk about the trade that just happened today. The Eagles are just reloading their defense. They traded for Robert Quinn from the Bears. Let me see what they got. They got a 4th-round pick. So they just they traded a 4th-round pick and they got a veteran pass rusher in Quinn.
That just showed to me that the Eagles is thinking that this is their year.
This is it. Yeah,
that's just show. It's like this is our year to win.
Yep.
But is it though? Do you think they're actually that good that they can win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. They're the most complete team in football right now.
And they're healthy.
Okay. Right. It's going to come down to their health of their offensive line. As long as they stay healthy up front, I think they'll
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might, yeah.
They're not beating the Bills. Sorry.
Why?
Oh, well, I mean, that the Bills have to get out of their own way. They have to get out of the AFC.
Even if
the Chiefs are
AFC,
good.
The Chiefs are going to beat them.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are going to beat the Eagles. Probably. They're both going to beat them. No offense. I hope the Eagles perform, but they're both better than them. Like what it comes down to in the NFL is what? Who can score the most points? With whatever the Eagles have on defense, they're not going to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes or Mr. Allen.
I love him. Hey, last week was Christian McCaffrey traded at the time we did the podcast? I can't remember.
No.
I don't think he was. Okay, well, Christian McCaffrey. You sure?
No, he wasn't. He was traded on Thursday.
We've definitely talked about it.
Probably together, but not on here.
Because I talked about how he's a good fit for Kyle Shanahan's zone running scheme.
We talked about that at the podcast.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
what? Well, anyways, Christian McCaffrey gets traded to the 49ers before the game, and he ends up playing a little bit. He wasn't in the whole game, but he looked good when he was in. So I think I don't know if he's going to be the missing piece that they need to get them over the hump because they still have Jimmy G, but they're going to be dangerous once he starts playing a full game.
Be double tap. My bad, Brian. I'm thinking about it. I feel like I heard your voice in my head saying the zone scheme and gap scheme. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we did it again, so.
It's okay.
There it is.
But he looked good on Sunday.
He did.
He looked good on Sunday with, 20, 30 plays?
Yeah, he didn't run a lot, but he looked good.
Yeah.
When was 21 October?
Huh?
I think that's when the 21st is when he was traded, or at least he sent a goodbye message.
That's
which was Friday.
Yeah, that was after he was traded.
All right. Well, these two have to do with each other, but Breece Hall tears his ACL and he's out for the year. That was terrible. He had at least he did it the best way a fantasy running back should do it. Get 100%. You the points and then go out.
And get the hell out.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's out the whole year, so that sucks. He looked so good this year. And they tried to split the carries week 1, week 2 with Michael Carter, and then they were like, oh, this guy's different. And he took over the backfield, and he's been great for like 5 weeks. And then he tears his ACL this week. In addition to that,
Le'Veon.
What's that?
I said he's a new Le'Veon Bell. Like he runs very similar, but he's a little bit more explosive though, for sure.
Yeah,
a lot more explosive.
I would like that.
Young Le'Veon was kind of explosive though. He's faster, of course, but like I'm talking about through the hole. I'm not talking about like measurable explosive. Yes.
Let's not talk about Le'Veon Bell. We don't want to give Adrian Peterson any flashbacks, getting knocked out by him. But James Robinson gets traded to the Jets. I can't remember the compensation. I think it was a 6th-round pick that could become a 5th-round pick depending on like performance. So
yeah, James Robinson has to hit 600 yards total for the year.
Does he get to include his?
He's already over 300. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So this is my thing. Why even do that? Because then he's just going to clog it up for next year.
I think they would expect him to be. I don't know what his contract looks like.
Yeah,
would he be a free agent?
Yeah, he's on his rookie deal.
So he might be at the end of it. I think he's like 25 now.
No, I thought last year was his first year.
No.
Second then?
Maybe.
It was definitely his second.
Okay, well then this must be his third. I know he's not.
He's a restricted free agent next year.
Next year?
Yeah, this is the last year of his deal. Because he got a 3-year deal. It was 3 years, $2 million. I think it's a good move by the Jets. They need him. Jacksonville very clearly made a statement last week against the Giants that they were passing the ball over to Etienne. Like he got like the bulk of the carries. He was on the field almost the whole time.
And they like Hasty too. Hasty's been getting some more carries last like 2 or 3 weeks.
That was what was surprising to me.
Yeah,
like Jermichael Hasty making a comeback, right? Maybe because I feel like you think that fits Doug Peterson's scheme better?
Probably
like that kind of back
speed.
Yeah,
that's what he wants.
Yeah,
it's just crazy because Robinson had those first 3 weeks were so good with him.
And then now you're trying to trade me for him.
I mean, he's still a good running back, so he'll do fine for the Jets.
For him? I was trying to get him.
Trade me him. You're trying to trade
I was
me
trying
him.
to trade you. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I want to maximize him?
And the Cowboys also acquired Jonathan Hankins from the Raiders in a trade. Don't know if that means anything, but I mean it's an interior lineman.
Are you a little upset about that, former Giant guy?
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then the Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark got suspended 2 games for violating personal conduct policy. Not sure what that's about, but he won't be there.
Weapons charges.
Nice.
Yeah, but don't worry. We suspend quarterbacks 4 games for might have known about deflating footballs.
If he didn't destroy his phone, maybe
it's Kansas City, bro. You can have a gun.
Hey, TJ Watt is back at practice. They are in his 21 day window to activate him to the active roster. So he looks like he's coming back. Zeke is expected to miss week 8 with a knee injury. He took a hard hit to the knee. So it looks like he might not be playing this week. I imagine if they didn't have a bye week next week, he'd probably tough it out and play. But they have a bye week, so they're like, why risk getting injured? Pollard can handle it. Give him 2 weeks off.
Tony Pollard show.
Here goes Tony Pollard for the 1 week.
I mean, yeah, because Zeke came back in that last game after he got hit.
Yeah.
And he looked fine. So.
Well, he got all the touchdowns.
Well, he's just an ox.
Yeah, he's different. Like, he's just a big bruiser.
But it's weird, though, because he's not really that big.
But
he's big.
Tough.
He's not that big, but it's like he tore meniscus, something in his ankle, hurt this. He's just like, I'm still out there.
He's an
Iron
Iron
don't
Man.
complain, nothing. Yeah, it's wild.
The way he runs is like so low. Like I don't know how people tackle him. Like
that's the hurdle in him.
Yeah, Hey, so let's go through some of the games last week because there were some surprises. I'd be remiss if I don't talk about the Giants. Winning another close one, 6-1, stopping the Jags at the 1 yard line to win the game. They shouldn't have even gotten that playoff because of the penalty prior to, but I'm not going to argue. We still won the game. Daniel Jones had over 100 yards rushing. He's leading the league in rushing at the quarterback, only behind obviously Lamar Jackson. So that's pretty dang good.
Yeah. The Giants, man, they're going through one hell of a rebuilding year. I'll tell you that. Man, Dayball knows how to rebuild.
It's not great for our draft to do this well and then still end up playing, like not finishing it off this year. So we don't have any receivers. I'd love to say that they're going to be active towards the trade deadline, but they're not going to be. They're not going to bring any receivers in. They're just going to hope that Wanda Robinson and Kadarius Toney and Galladay are and Slayton.
Why would you? You're 6-1.
Well, they need a receiver.
I know you need a receiver, but why ruin the chemistry? Right? Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And there's no receiver out there right now that they're going to trade for that's going to make them that much better. Who?
I mean, all they need is somebody that can actually catch the ball.
Marcus Johnson is not it. Marcus Johnson
is not throwing the ball.
Bro, like, hypothetically, they could get Kendrick Bourne from the Patriots and instantly have probably their best receiver, maybe their second at worst.
No, cut it out.
Because he actually catches the ball.
Robinson's they got guys that can catch the ball, but guess what? They're not even throwing the ball like that.
Because they know they can't.
I agree with Kenny though. I would probably just leave it the way it is. I'm gonna get upset because homie's gonna drop a third down conversion pass and it's gonna be whatever. But it's not worth like messing with the chemistry. Like, because what if we bring in a receiver and we're like, we feel the need to throw the ball more,
give him the ball to him,
give him the ball, we just traded for him, and then Saquon's not getting the ball enough, or like we're not doing. But I'd like to think that
Jones not running for 100 yards and shit.
Oh, I love that he's running. I love it. All right, some other shocking news: the Packers' offense just cannot function. They score like really early in the game. They'll go up 14 and then they just deflate after that. So the Commanders won 23-21 in that game. Heineke he did the same thing last year when he came in. Yeah. He gets everyone all hyped up. He's like real animated on the sideline.
He's not bad, bro.
He's not
really not bad. He just needs a shot to like actually rock out. Like, I'm not saying he's going to win all the games, right? This is the thing I hate about backups. They come in a game and people expect them to be, they're a backup. They won one game. They have to continue winning. Like, bro, your starter wasn't doing that. So why does a backup have to do that? They don't have to win every game, right? But just it's a change of pace. He looks way better than Carson Wentz. The offense looks better. Yeah. Like Terry McLaurin, he's starting to get involved. A lot of guys, Curtis Samuel back involved. That wasn't the case with Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz over there twiddling his thumb. He should just stay on the sideline.
I like it. If just to follow the theme of offenses that are broken, the Buccaneers are broke. Like they got 3 points this last week against the Panthers. I mean, give it up to the Panthers defense. And Brian Burns was in Brady's dreams. Like he was his nightmare. Like he could not get away from him. And they couldn't do anything on offense.
Did you see what they said, Brian, about Brady? They said, man, Brady thinking about the old lady too much. He need to take his ass home. That's messing him up bad. He need to go home.
No, he needs to go get himself a new lady because he needs to get that divorce finalized.
Nah, bro, that's shit breaking him up right now. He need to go back and
let's give credit where credit is due. The Panthers played their ass off. Yeah. PJ Walker played amazing. He won himself the starting gig for now because Steve Wilkes is like, you can't bench him after that. Like after that performance, you can't like turn around and bench him. But who knows how long that lasts.
If you want to win, let PJ spin. We've been saying this for like a year now. We've been telling y'all that for a year.
I think
we said just give him a chance. Like just let him see what he can do.
Exactly. I think I looked it up. Any game that he started, he's won. He's undefeated in the games he started with the Panthers.
Didn't he lose? He lost to the Rams. He lost it to the Rams last week.
Oh, he started. Well, he got injured. He didn't get to play the whole game, right?
Yeah, but
that doesn't count. To me, that don't count.
That's my guy, but that
don't count.
Either way, man, he has something that he can put into the books. He played against the GOAT. He beat the GOAT, right?
And he got DJ Moore. He got DJ Moore involved.
Eating
he got
right?
DJ
They got
Moore.
Robbie out of there.
Yeah.
He said, all right. I said, hey, yo, guess what? Ryan told me he needs DJ Moore to go off.
Yeah.
He got Robbie out of there, so throw him the rock. He said, all right, bet.
I appreciate you. So hopefully the Bucs get it right this week because they're playing the Ravens on Thursday night. It's prime time. Brady under the lights. I really hope they get it done.
Lamar wants to win this bad.
Oh man, I'm staying away from that game. I'm not picking it.
Okay,
I'm picking the Ravens. It's not even close.
Ooh.
No, not like close in score, right? I'm saying it's not even close. Like I'm not even second guessing it. I just don't like how the Bucs look at all.
I know.
Like they don't look like they want to be out there, and it starts with Brady.
Chris Godwin, baby. Never mind. Getting hyped.
What about Chris Godwin?
He's gonna
getting hyped on him for what?
He's gonna have a good game.
It's because Ryan just got him in a trade. So
that's why.
I'm a big Godwin fan now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Godwin.
Other big news.
About Marquise Godwin.
Get out of here.
That's a good win.
Good win. Hey, let's put to bed Brian's. Let's put to bed Brian's. What is it called? His bold prediction of Matt Ryan winning the MVP. Because
listen,
his
that
ass
was
is
bold
gone.
for a reason
It's
because
bold.
It was unbelievable. Okay,
Matt Ryan's done. His career is over. He got injured. His shoulder it's an AC joint injury. On top of that, Frank Reich came out and said, regardless of injury, we're going with Sam Ehlinger for the rest of the year. That's it. So
he said, I was shocked. I'm appalled. I'm like, bro, you've been throwing like dumbass passes. Like that pick that he had last week. I was like, bro, the receiver's not even looking. You're throwing it to the flat. He's double covered, and you still throw it. When you see the outside linebacker is scanning out to take the flat, and he sees you. Pick six. Then throws another. Like, they lost. He's the reason why they lost.
Oh, 100%.
That game last week was a great game besides the 2 picks. Like, it was a good defensive game, back and forth. But Matt Ryan is not it. But how do you think Sam Ehlinger is going to do?
And he'll probably be like an initial spark, but does it last very long? I don't know.
I mean, as long as
they're off that preseason hype.
But as long as he doesn't throw 9 interceptions, 11 fumbles, and takes 24 sacks, like that's what Matt Ryan was doing. That their defense is good enough to win games if you have someone that just manages the offense and gets them downfield. Yeah, just this dude, 11 fumbles. And that's some Daniel Jones.
What about? I'm saying, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. Where's he at?
He can't get going when his quarterback's giving the game up.
Oh, I thought I said that in the beginning of the year. I said Matt Ryan is not going to make a difference like y'all think. Yes, he is. He's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. He's way better. He's going to throw the ball around. He's going to do that.
He is better than Carson Wentz.
They said, hold on, you got Matt Ryan at? They said he has Matt Ryan at quarterback. Let's put 9 in the box and dare him to throw because he's still going to throw a pick or fumble.
All right, Kenny, you were right.
Thank you.
So, but now Sam Ehlinger's here to save the season.
Hey, it doesn't matter. I got Jonathan Taylor now.
No.
So I'm on a Jonathan Taylor trade.
Oh, you traded for him. Yeah.
I hope he
Kenny's all about him now.
Let's go.
Jonathan Taylor's going to get 1,200 yards the rest of the way. Let's go.
Hey, if he does that, I'm winning the league.
And then the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're just hanging 40 a game on like every team. Doesn't matter. They put up 44 on the 49ers. So,
did I tell y'all that the Steelers Dolphins game right on Monday? Did I tell y'all I lost because of Pat Freiermuth? That's how you say his name.
He had a bunch of catches, right?
At the end, bro, the last catch killed me. I lost by 1.2 points, and that last catch hurt me so bad. I was so pissed off. I'm like, where is he coming from? And like I said, Kenny Pickett, I like him. I like Kenny Pickett.
I think he runs hard. I like that. He needs to learn how to slide, but I mean,
I just like that he is a Pittsburgh type of guy. Like his
mm-hmm.
demeanor is way more Ben Roethlisberger like, right? In the sense that like cold, I don't care, I'm going to play, I'm gritty, rather than Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky is like a model to me.
He needs to get those sliding lessons from Mac Jones. Just kick him in the dick, bro. Just kick him in the dick.
Oh my god! Hey,
did you not see that?
No.
Mac Jones slid the other night, and he put his foot up a little bit too high and hit a guy right in his dick. And people are calling it a dirty play.
Hey, I wanna ask you guys your opinion on any games this week. Are you Brian? You said you're staying away from the Ravens Bucks game on Thursday, but like, do you think that that's a game that potentially the Bucks can get right on offense?
Yeah, because I don't trust the Ravens defense. Which version of it are we going to get?
It's like... another quick hit. I'll give you this one, Kenny. The Packers at Buffalo. Do you think that's a get right? That's a Sunday night game. Do you think that's a get right game for the Packers offense out of necessity?
It's an ass whooping.
I like that. And then Brian,
it's a reason why it's 11.5. I'm telling
you. Brian, I'll give you this one. Is Mac Jones going to be the savior and he's going to get you guys a win at New York? Or is he going to get benched within the first drive or two?
No, I don't.
It's by design. He didn't get benched. It's by design.
Benched. I don't think he's going to get benched. I think that whole quarterback thing is done. Like, I think Bill's smartened up, realized you can't go flip-flopping. You just pick a guy and stick with him. He's picked a guy. He's moved on. It's Mac Jones. But that doesn't mean it translates to a win. I don't know. Because it's more complex than that. It's not just a Mac Jones issue. It's what's the play calling going to look like? Because
Brian, think about this though. In the beginning of the season when we did our picks, we were talking about games that the New England was going to lose. Like, oh, they lose to the Jets. They lose. You said, no way. And now you're debating like,
yeah. I didn't believe
week 8.
This is why I came, because I did not believe that Matt Patricia could fuck the offense this badly. But he's done it, Kenny. He has done it. And I'll save the rest for later.
But guess what? But guess what? Ryan talked about that. We said, hey, you don't have an offensive coordinator, it's going to be a problem. He said, nah, him and Bill going to get it right. And they ain't get shit right.
Well,
nothing.
Joe Judge.
I don't know about that either.
He's the guy helping Patricia.
Listen, there are people in New York that said that Joe Judge ruined Daniel Jones. So I wouldn't trust him either.
He's getting right.
Yeah, Dayball's fixing him.
Dayball said,
he's putting them back together.
Don't throw it. Don't throw it. Just run.
All right, Kenny. That's all I got. Yep.
All right, man. Let's get straight to it, man. Since we are already on that New England topic, right? I want to talk a little bit, right, on hot takes, like hot cakes. This is gonna rub you the wrong way, Brian, and I've done that intentionally.
I know.
I know Mac Jones said he's starting this week, but really, is Zappe better than Mac Jones?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because that's now a debate. Now people are saying, is Mac Jones the answer, or is Zappe really better than him?
Well, if you actually pay attention to the game and watch,
man, here we go with that bullshit. The different play call.
The different play calling. It's a simple fact, Kenny, that Mac Jones had 9 dropbacks and 8 of which were not play action. The one play action he had was out of shotgun, which was somewhat like RPO, except the line was pass blocking. So there was no actual run action. And if you watch the film, the linebacker doesn't even bite on it because it's such a terrible play call for a play action pass. Now you go to the Bailey Zappe play action pass where he had Jacoby Myers wide open. Not only did they pull a guard on that play, but they pulled the tight end on that play. So you had 2 run actions on a play action, and that's the reason why the linebackers bid up. and that's why Jacoby Myers was so wide open that
That's
he.
probably that's an RPO, bro. They're not pulling the guard and the tackle on the play action.
No,
They're not doing
that was under center dive play action. Is exactly
that.
what it, or well, not
You
dive,
still
but power. It was
this
power
this still
play
that's
action.
there's still RPOs out of under center. You know that, right?
Yeah, but that's not. That's definitely what the Patriots
that's
have
what,
ran in the last
dude.
20 years.
How does
dude.
he? How does
It's
he make
power play
the?
action.
How does he make the run pass option read if his back is turned to the defense when he's handing the ball off?
Yeah, I don't know either, but Kenny seems to think that you can. RPO
You
is strictly
can.
our shotgun.
Okay.
Well, no. I just no. I'm genuinely curious.
Maybe
Is the
if it's a
running back the
stretch
one
run.
making the read and saying like he's not taking the ball because
No.
the quarterback's turned
First
around?
of all, for the quarterback when they're doing the RPO, right? You're making a predetermined notion for like it's not the Mike linebacker in this case. It's not. You're looking for the outside guy,
Mhm.
right? So when you're coming from under the center,
So
you're already
it's a
turned to the side.
pre-snap read.
Yeah, it's a pre-snap
pre-snap
read
read.
for where
Okay.
they're lined up aligned,
All
right?
right.
And then if you fuck up, most of the time you will see like Justin Fields does when he does it, and guess what? He takes off and run with the ball because he makes the wrong read.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say to Brian's point, right? I definitely see what you mean about the play calling, but at the same time, defensive coordinators are going to take into account on who likes to do what, and if they know Mac Jones likes certain things, they're going to try to take that away. Now it's Patricia's not making good calls as well, right? Because in order to have a play action, you have to establish some type of run,
Right.
and the run wasn't getting established. So those calls doesn't help out Mac Jones. I'm just giving you a hard time because I think it's a reason that they put Zappe in there, right, to change pace up. But I think that the competition is closer than what may be seen or what may be believed to people. They think it's like, oh, it's not even close, but it actually is because
I don't think so. I
So
think
you're
it all
saying
comes down to Patricia having the ear of Belichick. And Belichick went with his guy. He said, okay, I'm going to trust you. And it blew up in his face, and Belichick ain't going to like that. That's why it's not going to happen anymore.
Did it really blow up in his face, or was the game so far gone already that it was over?
it wasn't gone.
Like I thought that they couldn't stop the Bears.
Zappe got him back in the game. It was 14-10, I think.
I agree, Kevin.
On
the
Bears
were like just devastating.
They're playing out there in their mind.
Like there was nothing the defense could do because they took the week off. Apparently, okay, I agree with that. The defense was the worst part of the game for the Patriots. But when we're talking strictly the difference between Zappe and Mac Jones, it just feels like Matt Patricia has a grudge there because in the preseason, who spoke out to the media about not liking how the new offensive scheme was going. It was Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne went from their starting receiver. He's now like number 4 at best. He gets very limited snaps, and they couldn't do the same thing to Mac Jones right away. But that injury opened up the floodgates, and so then Patricia, like he did in Detroit, tries to bury guys that talk against what he wants to do. Because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
I don't know. I think part of that is like soap opera
problem. Oh,
I think
it is. It is.
Part of that is just a soap opera, like inflation. I don't think it's true. Oh, I think that's what I'm arguing here. I think they. Here's the thing: Mac Jones has had an entire season under center for the Patriots. Mm-hmm. So the expectation when he gets on the field is we're not going to run these like cookie cutter like one read plays where he does play action and he makes a pre-snap read and then has to they want to have a more have him go out there and do more advanced stuff and make the right read, and he's not making it. So I don't think he's ready for that next step. So Mac Jones is.
You think that if Josh McDaniels was still here, that they would be running. They would go away from the one read option stuff that he was running in the first year. You think that Josh McDaniels would just be like, "Nah, I'm going to take the rug right underneath your feet. We're going spread. You have to read the defense. You have to make your progressions. All this." Because I'll tell you right now, Josh McDaniels wouldn't do that. Josh McDaniels did the same thing with Brady. Eased him into games. As great as Brady was, it started balanced. And then they progressed from there. They massaged the defense and then figured out what they were going to do to attack it the rest of the game.
Yeah, but I would argue that that's why that Zappe's getting those type of play calls, because he is a rookie, like 4th-round pick, 5th-round, or
I
like whatever
understand
he
what you're
is. So like,
saying.
it's not, they're not trying to sabotage. Like that's what it's coming off at. Like they're trying to sabotage Mac Jones because he made a comment in a press
Why
conference.
is this so hard to believe? I mean, Matt Patricia's come in and completely changed the offense. The scheme is totally different. He wants to go with a zone run scheme, with zone reads, with zone passing. Like he wants to be what Kyle Shanahan is, in San Francisco, not ever being an offensive coordinator, and he wants to go away from everything that McDaniels had built, because McDaniels took what Charlie Weiss had and evolved that offense like tremendously.
Yes,
and he wants to get rid of the whole old scheme. He wants to do that. So why wouldn't he want to get rid of the quarterback that was part of that scheme and want to get the guy that he was a part of drafting in his mind, which is Bailey Zappi?
I think that this is you can't blame Patricia. You blame Bill Belichick.
I do blame Bill Belichick because he's been letting Patricia have too much power.
Well, because he let Patricia be the offensive coordinator. You don't hire a defensive coordinator to be your offensive coordinator.
You're absolutely right. Bill gets blame in this too.
Yeah, he's 100%. Like you just hire an offensive coordinator.
Hire
an offensive coordinator.
Oh, sure.
Like I said.
I'm okay with this. But Patricia's the problem.
Where's Bill O'Brien at?
And he's stacking the deck against.
He's at Bama
against Mac.
Get him out. Get him out here.
They went and talked to him, but Nick Saban didn't want to let him go, and that's Bill's buddy.
You're right. You don't do him like that.
Right.
Well, that's a perfect segue. We're going to get into my second question, which is, should the Indy coaching staff be fired?
No.
Only reason I say that is because they have tried over and over again with different quarterbacks, and everybody puts the blame on the quarterback, but something's not right. Every quarterback they've put in hasn't been right. So what are your thoughts on that?
They need to stop trying to solve it in free agency and solve this issue with a drafted guy. The quarterback position needs to be solved in the draft.
Okay. Yeah, they keep bringing in all these washed up guys, and unfortunately, and that even includes Carson Wentz, despite the fact that he was younger. But after that injury, he's never been the same. So he's just not it now.
But you don't think any blame goes on the coaching staff?
No.
I mean, I don't know if it's like any blame. I mean, I think that some blame goes to them because they played great on defense. So, like, they're a good team. They have offensive playmakers. They draft all right. Like, Quentin Williams is amazing. Or Quentin Nelson, is that his name?
Yeah.
That dude's a beast. Yep. Like, they draft well. They just need to draft a freaking quarterback. Maybe they already did with Ellinger.
Maybe.
All right, my next question, right? I think this is going to be a really good one. We had this discussion, I think, a while ago, maybe last year or maybe earlier this year as well. With all the injuries going on, right? Pete Carroll had a great little comment talking about talking about the NFLPA bringing up again whether the natural grass should be implemented in all NFL stadiums rather than the turf, right? I think it says 14 out of 30 NFL stadiums have turf, and it's analytics that say that 28% higher rate for non-contact injuries on turf fields. So what is you guys' opinion on that?
100% agree. Bring back grass.
Yeah.
Same way?
I mean, it's just more forgiving to the body.
Yeah.
They have the technology now to make it worthwhile. Like,
yeah.
They have domes that freaking roll out the grass to water and give it sunlight and then roll it back in. Like,
oh, I forgot Arizona does that.
Yeah. That's a grass field, even though it's in a dome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at this point it's kind of like laughable that this is even a discussion because it's probably been maybe 100, maybe over 100 ACL tears, and majority of them are happening on turf fields. Like, think about the Baltimore Ravens alone. Like, they continuously
is that turf?
I thought theirs were turf.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
it looks like it. I could be wrong.
Maybe it might be. I agree. I just It's crazy because, like, is it the maintenance that is easier with the turf? They're like, there's no maintenance with turf. Like, what's the
you don't
reason?
have to really do maintenance, right, with
That's
turf, right?
yeah.
It can sustain weather. Like if it rains and do all that stuff with grass, you got to make sure it's not too wet, mud. You know what I mean? Like after if you play on wet grass, of course, get chopped up and all that stuff. I think it's just laziness, right?
It's not
And
just
it
that.
costs more. It costs more.
It's not just that though. It also turf plays faster.
But it really doesn't though.
It does.
But I'm saying
And
when
what
you're
do you
running on turf, it doesn't feel like you're fast. You feel faster on grass than you do on turf. I'm just saying for a personal preference.
feel
Like,
versus look is different. I mean,
yeah, but just because you look fast don't mean you're running fast. You know what I mean? You can look fast on TV, but
Hey,
you're still
Kenny,
slow.
you're a data guy. Look up the analytics on not obviously you can't do it right now, but later on, look up the analytics on like the amount of points scored in a game because I'm sure that they've done this. Points scored in a game compared to like what kind of field they are. So like if it's a turf game, are they more likely to have a higher scoring game than a lower scoring game? That would be interesting to have to look up.
Because I think that would be true if I had to guess, and that's why the NFL wants more scoring. So
Is the Bill Stadium turf?
No, that's got to be
think
grass.
it is actually.
I'm looking up turf fields in the NFL. No, we'll be here all day trying to.
It's hard to tell because a lot of fields are like that new hybrid grass stuff that like it looks a lot like turf, so it's difficult to.
Yeah, I don't know, but Arrowhead is grass though.
Yes.
Yep.
And they put up a shit ton of points.
here's the list the grass fields. Arizona, Falcons, Baltimore.
Non-grass. Just do non-grass because it's more non-grass. I mean, less non-grass than grass. You're gonna be going 26.
Well, I know. Well, the list I freaking looked up only had the grass.
Don't worry about it.
It has their grass type. That's what it is. Arizona has Bermuda. Falcons has turf. It doesn't have it. It doesn't have
Bermuda.
Listed. Well, it has grass.
That's way better.
It's grass.
Yeah. Bermuda is normally what everybody likes.
Buffalo is a turf Titan 50, whatever that is. It's turf.
That's turf. A turf Titan. Yeah, it's turf.
It's just a type. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Carolina's got turf. Ooh, Chicago's got Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably good. That's good right there. Either way, man, I was curious on you guys' take on that. But yeah, that's all I really have for hot takes like hotcakes. I had a question of like what you guys thought about trades, but we kind of touched on that already. So we'll just get straight into Brian's fantasies.
Dang, I'm really interested in this turf discussion. I'll look it up. All right, cool. This week I got some quarterbacks for you, and you're gonna call me a homer, but the Giants are playing Seattle. Seattle is always in a high-scoring game. I think that this is probably the game that the Giants lose because Seattle's good on offense. They've been calling good game plans for Geno, and Geno looks like he's good again.
He looks better than Russ.
Exactly. Tua is playing the Lions. Tua, he came back a little bit last week, and then he's fully back now, and they're about to play the Lions. So that's going to be a good one to look at. You're going to hate me for saying this, but it's not a primetime game, I don't think. Kirk Cousins against Arizona, if you're streaming quarterbacks. And then Derek Carr is playing the Saints. That's it. Derek Carr would have had a good week last week, but all the scoring kept going to freaking Josh Jacobs. So they kept punching the ball in with him. So if they can just get a couple more, I'm going to see some regression this week, some positive regression. Running back position, I got a lot of Carolina Panthers, ex-Carolina Panthers on this list. Devontae Foreman, I was talking to Brian about this before the game. Devontae Foreman and Chuba both had good games in Carolina last week. Chuba came out with like an ankle injury. Yeah. He should play this week, but I like Devontae Foreman if I had to choose between the two of them. They're playing the Falcons. Over the last month, the Falcons are giving up 31.1 fantasy points per game to the running back. He's probably going to have a big game. Unless the Falcons know... the Falcons are going to emphasize the running defensive running game, but it might not be anything. It might not do anything. Kenny's going to like this pick, but Raheem Mostert has taken over the backfield in Miami, and they're playing Detroit, so he's going to have a good game.
I told y'all.
And if you
tripping,
if you tried to get Tony Pollard, you can't trade for him now, but he's going to have a good game against the Bears. And then Christian McCaffrey, full week. They're playing the Rams. I think he gets more included in the offense, and they start leaning on him, and this is going to be a show. And then the wide receiver position. The Packers suck. They just do. Gabe Davis is going to have a big game against the Packers because they're just not good. I love my boy Godwin against Baltimore secondary. It's hard to choose the games where it's going to be Devontae Smith and what's his name, AJ Brown, but I think this is a Devontae Smith game. I think they're both going to go off.
Got to rock out.
Yeah, I would start Devontae Smith, and then my boy Brandon Cooks, who Kenny hates, but they're playing the Titans this week.
Not hate, just dislike. I feel like he got a lot of pub this year, but he hasn't done anything.
He has
no big games so far.
He's their only receiver. He's getting the targets. You got to look at that. Yeah. Hey, and at the tight end position this week, Hawkinson is playing Miami. I like Hawkinson this week. Kenny's most hated player, Evan Ingram, is playing the Broncos.
Kyle Pitts.
What about Kyle Pitts? Who are they playing?
No bullshit.
In Carolina, they just gave up 3 points last week.
Yeah, it's strap mob.
Yeah, I would. Evan Ingram's getting more involved in the offense. He's getting a lot of targets. He's had like 9 targets last week. Well, of course he was playing the Giants, so they were trying to force him the ball. And then if you want to, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, if you guys are somebody try to trade you Evan Ingram though, please get something back in return that's good. Don't take the bait because it's only short term. All right?
It's not short term. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is terrible. Kyle Pitts, I have him. He is literally, I read this to Kenny earlier. In our league, he has gotten 3.9 points. 3 games. That exact score. He's gotten that in 3 games. And then on a 4th game, he got 3.5 points. That's 4 games. 4 games under 4 points. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Evan Ingram, he was getting worked into a new offensive system, and he's only had 2 games under 4 points. And the rest have been like around the 9-10. He just hasn't had that breakout. Like, once he starts finding the end zone, maybe then people will start looking his way. But if you want to take a dart throw on a tight end, remember Irv Smith was starting to get a little bit more involved in the offense, and they're coming off a bye week. And Arizona Cardinals, physically, functionally, everything bad, cannot guard tight ends. They just can't. They just don't know how to. So I would start Irv Smith if I'm throwing haymakers trying to get a tight end to score some points. That's all I got. I'm not even going to do defense.
Irv Gotti. Too much Bacardi in his body. Anyway, you never heard of that song? Hail Mary?
No, my bad.
No? Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you, Ryan.
Hey,
because obviously Brian's looking at me all weird and shit. Like, what is Kenny talking about? It's a song, bro. Anyway, let's get to BK bets. The reason why I'm saying Hail Mary because that's what I need. I didn't do anything last week. Last week, the picks was not it. So we're not going to even talk about it. We're going to go straight into this week because we're on to new and better things. So what I have 6 teams for you guys again. I actually like these teams this week. It looks very tasteful, right? So any order you guys can choose, pick your poison. I'll tell you my picks at the end, but for right now, I have TCU. You're gonna take the -7, take that hook off. We don't like that +0.5. Hey, a lot of the bookies I've been going to, FanDuel especially right now, they're not letting you buy a hook, so you're gonna have to push it down probably to 6.5. So don't be alarmed when you hear that. It's probably put your odds to like $1.15, $1.15, something like that. But it's all good. Take that. So TCU, I say -6.5. Oklahoma State, you could take that money line. We don't want to play with that 1.5 versus Iowa State. I'll take the Oklahoma State money line versus Kansas State. Right, I know Kansas State's been playing hard, but I like Oklahoma State. Take that money line versus Kansas State. Wake Forest, I like that 2.5. You're going to take that down versus Louisville. I like what Sam is doing. He's putting points up on the board. I think that Mississippi's have a bounce back game versus Texas A&M. I would also take that money line. It's -2. That's weird to me. I would take a money line, and then Syracuse, Big Orange is actually they have. I watched them last week for the first time. I actually watched in depth, and I like how the energy that they're playing with. Right, the defense is good. Offense is kind of like back and forth. They run the ball very well. But I don't believe in Notre Dame, right? I said it since the beginning. What I said at the beginning of the year, I will not take Notre Dame again. Will not. And I like how Syracuse, they're playing in the Dome. So I like Syracuse, but I would take a money line. If you want to take 2.5 and be risky, I think that's fine. But I'm going to be safe and take the money line. And I like that. If I'm doing my 3-teamer, in my opinion, I'm going to take the Wake Forest -3. I'm going to take Oklahoma money line, and then I'm going to take the TCU 6.5. That's what I got.
All right, real quick NFL. We're going to take the Titans -2.5 at Houston. They looked good last week. I know it was against the Colts, but they just keep winning. I think Vrabel's a good coach. They should win by a field goal. I got Cincinnati. It's at -3.5 at Cleveland. You're going to take that down to 2.5 to be safe. And then I've got the over in the New England Jets game. It's 40.5. I'm sorry. I just like it. It's 20 points each. I mean, come on. That's doable.
All right.
Was I right about the Bears and Patriots last week?
Well,
they went on the over.
If the Patriots defense doesn't show up, then sure.
Well, right now they're not showing up, Ryan. So here we are.
Hey, by the way, I had looked this up. There are actually 16 teams with grass fields and 16 teams with turf fields. It's like literally split right down the middle.
That's 50-50.
I thought didn't I say that? What is it?
Oh, did you? I don't know. I finally
said 14 and 32. So
oh, okay.
That's wrong. So 16. I apologize. They must have changed it. Or the stats that I got it from was incorrect.
Or mine are incorrect. I can accept
be both.
We'll call it 15. Me in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 15. Anyway,
like
always, guys, buy the hook on that. As always, guys, man, we appreciate the support, man. Like, subscribe, leave comments, share with your friends. Good luck this week in your fantasy. If you are getting trades for Evan Ingram, again, do not accept it unless you are getting enough back, right? And if you are a bonehead that's out here trading Jonathan Taylor for pennies on the dime, shoot yourself in the foot. No, not really. I'm just figuratively speaking. And then make sure on your BK bets, you're being smart, right? Don't get greedy. Be smart. Take the wins from Saturday and take it to Brian's picks. And then, be cautious with the Patriots picks. But it's going to pay off. We love y'all. We'll see y'all. Peace.
Mac Jones.
Zappe.